Can I help you?
So about that money I owe.
Yes. Have you got it?
How much do I owe you again?
A lot. A lot. For the room, drinks, and broken window, 130 real.
Actually, let's talk about something
Like
else.
what? I was rarely enjoying talking about the money you owe me.
I've seen something here at the Whirling Gart. I need to talk about.
What thing?
I saw a sign that said the mess hall is reserved for the Union.
Yes, not the whole damn Union, thank God. Just the nastiest and loudest faction. They come here in the evenings. Dumb, unruly types. Think they're big shit. But they're good customers. They place big orders and always pay on time.
We should find out who this Lord faction is, occupying the booth. Loudness means talkative, and we need info.
How do we find them?
We don't. We have to wait. They'll show up sooner or later. Men get hungry, even striking men. If not today, then they'll be here tomorrow.
There are these things called days. You sleep between them. He's saying they'll come after you've slept. Just making clear you got that.
There's a mysterious blue steel door in the back of the kitchen.
Oh yes, that door, sure. There's nothing mysterious about it. It's just a door.
Do you know what's behind it? Do you have,
No, I don't have a key. I don't know how to get there. And I don't care either. It's not like I've been wondering about it for 10 years. It's just a frit warehouse, probably. Or some boring storage space with a bunch of old junk and dust. Junk and dust.
He's attempting to maintain an air of indifference. It's absolutely not convincing.
I think you'd like to know what's back there.
Fine, okay, a little. But my job doesn't leave me time for wondering about one locked door in one of the cafeterias I manage. So I haven't opened it. I have cleaned the whole place 100 times over, though, after the animals. And I haven't found a key, so good luck with that.
There's something else I want to ask.
What?
By the way, you should come back to this thing-based questionnaire if you see anything interesting in the whirling later.
Goodbye.
Hello, sweetie.
Wait, who's Sweetie?
Does that mean you like me?
You're a handsome man, officer, with your mustache and your chiseled jaw and that silly dimple on your chin. But dear, you're not for me. I'm too old and too married besides. You must forgive me. I'm getting so scatterbrained. I completely forgot to introduce myself. I'm Lena. My husband Morel and I are staying with our friend Gary just down the street, but I come here for tea when they're away.
This Lena is wacky enough for the motley crew. Hire her on the spot.
Sweetie needs money. Do sweeties get money?
Oh, sweetie, I heard your conversation with the manager about your financial troubles. When do you get your next paycheck?
What is a paycheck? I haven't seen any paycheck.
You must be joking. Although our pay does sometimes feel like a joke.
It's not easy to assert your right to a decent living wage when you don't have a strong union behind you. Maybe you should talk to Everard, the union leader.
Interesting idea. This Everard sounds powerful. Maybe you can wrangle some coins out of his pocket.
I feel like I wouldn't feel okay with swindling an old lady of money.
Oh, no, I'm so sorry I don't have money for you. If there's anything else I can do for you, just ask.
How'd you like to roll with me?
Whatever do you mean?
I want you to be my wheelchaired partner, fighting crime, ridding backyards of corpses, catching sequence killers.
Sequence killers? Oh, my. But I think you already have a partner, sweetie.
A partner who needs you to help him get a corpse down from a tree.
As I know, but there's also side mysteries, sequence killers, and forays into the paranatural.
I can assure you, with absolute certainty, there are no sequence killings taking place in Martinez.
Now, gentlemen, no need to squabble. I wouldn't be of much use to you anyway, sweetie.
Why? 3 heads are better than 2?
Thank you, but Martinez isn't the most wheelchair-accessible place, you see. I'd slow you down. Perhaps another time.
I don't know if you've noticed, but I don't know where I am. Or what I'm doing. Or anything, really.
Yes, officer. You look rather dazed. Like a stunned fox. But surely things can't be that bad.
I drank so hard, I forgot literally everything.
Oh my. You know where we are, right?
We're dead, haunting each other. We're ghosts.
Now. We are alive. In a hostel called the Whirling in Rags. And the Whirling itself is in the city of Revachol.
All I know is that Revachol used to be really cool in the 30s.
The new disco dancing. It seems like a lifetime ago. Much has changed, but it is still the most beautiful city in the world. A rare jewel set in the sand between the pines. Everyone says so, even foreigners. Speaking of history, you know what year it is, yes?
It's a bad year in my late 40s. Or 50s? I don't even know how old I am.
There. The year is 51, and spring has only just started. I'm sure there are better days ahead.
She looks flustered, her hands smoothing out the creases in her blanket, even as she attempts to reassure you. The lieutenant studies you, rubbing his chin. I'm beginning to suspect that you might indeed be completely adrift in this reality, thinks the lieutenant. How can it be that bad? Never mind. We're in this now.
I can tell that this is taxing for you, so I'll just ask one more question. What regime are we living under? What mode of government?
Our leaders are fierce warriors who traverse the plains on steeds. Civilization cowers before us.
Oh, no. Nothing like that, dear. Revachol is a zone of control, led by an alliance of foreign powers called the Coalition. We have almost no government of our own, and certainly not one who's horseback.
I don't even know what to say. I'm just disappointed.
It is quite disappointing, yes. A lot of people would like some form of representation. There's talk, but for now, the RCM is all we've got.
If there's no government, how come there's cops?
Oh dear, this is troubling. You really ought to know that, being one yourself. There aren't any cops in Revachol, not in the traditional sense. The status of law enforcement has been a complicated matter since the revolution. But we should stop for today, sweetie. You look like you need a break. Besides, I'm not the best person to explain the big things to anyone.
She's scared now. She's realized you really are brain damaged.
So, how did I do?
You didn't do too well, dear. It does look like you're having trouble remembering things. History and places. Remembering reality, in a word. It's very odd.
A sigh. The lieutenant buries his nose in his notebook.
But maybe a fresh set of eyes is what the world needs. And while I'm no doctor, such bouts of amnesia are often temporary, so I wouldn't worry too much.
What is the revolution you mentioned?
A defeat, I'm afraid. The people of this archipelago tried to build something new, something different. The rest of the world didn't like it, so they came and ended it. This was 42 years ago.
What does that have to do with there not being any cops?
It has something to do with everything. I really don't know how to explain it better.
Who could tell me more?
Someone more educated in sweeping matters. Maybe you should ask.
No, I'm not an encyclopedia. I won't be a guide either. I'm a detective.
Of course. Then I don't know. Someone rich, maybe? Wealthy people are educated. Though I don't know where you would find a wealthy person in Martinez.
That's a good point. This doesn't look like Rich Central.
I think I know just the gal!
Of course, dear. Good luck with your case.
Man, I'm sure glad that we are walking around solving a case and not doing pointless bullshit that has nothing to do with anything. Man, it would be really awkward if I was doing that second thing at all.
You're back. Good. What can I help you with?
You seem smart. I need someone to give me a lowdown on this reality we're in.
This reality.
Yes, reality is your side case. An experimental side case.
It's related to that medical episode. I have trouble remembering even the most basic terms of reality.
Ah, yes. The episode. Sounds like an acute case of encephalopathy, now that I think of it.
Don't be phased, madame. He functions perfectly well. He only needs a lowdown on all of reality.
We may be here a while then. Ask away, officer. I'll help however I can.
All right, we're in. I know these all look good, but begin with the first, okay?
Where are we?
We're in Martinez, baby.
Baby?
A casual term of endearment popular among the 50-plus crowd. It's a disco holdover, pay it no heed.
I'm a disco holdover myself.
Aren't we all?
She refers to your corresponding ages.
And what is this Martinez?
Martinez is a district of Revachol. A very small district tucked away near the industrial harbour. North of the 881 and Jamrock. You would be excused for not knowing about it. Unimportant, they say. Forgotten, even. Shelled to smithereens during the Revolution. It has its charms, just not this time of year.
Tell me more about Martinez.
I'm not a good ambassador. I've only been here once before, as a teenager. Not a lot has changed. There are ruins, a terminal, fishing boats, reeds, boys with boxy shoulders. This place used to be a province, a workers' resort before the city swallowed it and the artillery did its work. The reeds are the real star of the show here now. The further down the coast, the wilder it gets.
You mentioned a sea. What sea is this?
It's not really a sea, it's the Bay of Revachol. And the bay feeds into the ocean.
Are we near the ocean?
Yes. We're on an island in an ocean, the world's largest body of water, the Insulindic.
Known to the early Revacholians as Les Immensités Bleues, the Blue Immensities.
What's the name of this island?
Caillou, as you already know. Imagine a pebble. A smoothed-over pebble amidst a great blue sea, misshapen, cracked. The cracks are the River Esperance. We're in the delta of this river, on the 6th branch, the Martinez distributary.
Okay, that's Martinez. What's Revachol?
Revachol? Revachol is what you call a city.
And the kind of city?
The great kind.
What makes Revachol great?
History detective. They built this city to resolve history. Our part in it, at least. Our centuries.
Okay, who built this city?
The nations of the Occident, or migrant workers from Seminine and Ile-Marat, depending on your creed.
When was it built?
In the DeLorean century. 380 years ago.
And why is it going to resolve history?
They say it's where the terrible questions of our time will be answered. The tensions are highest, the fault lines deepest. By that I mean conflicts. Ideological conflicts. The stuff of men.
Why here?
We are standing on a fertile, self-sufficient island able to sustain up to 200 million people in the middle of the Insulindic Ocean, the world's connective tissue. It's where the money is.
So, we're pretty much at the center of the world?
Oh, we're quite a way off. About...
A collection of tall ghosts behind the water vapor, light reflecting off their glass windows.
22 kilometers from the center of the world. That soldering iron is the bank of the world building. The bottom floors are Insiacom. Coalition government in Cylindian Mission Command.
Silence. She lowers her hand. The water, the light. It's as though you're seeing it for the first time. There is no recognition, only the immensity of the sea and the cold radiating from it. She observes your eyes scanning the horizon, then breaks the silence, slowly. This is one thought you need to complete. Where are you?
Was there something else you wanted to know? I remember something about a lowdown.
This has been informative. Thank you, ma'am. I'm sure my memory-impaired partner has many more questions to ask, about even more fundamental aspects of reality. Might I suggest not asking them all right now? Madame Messier will be here later too, and tomorrow. Isn't that true, ma'am?
Absolutely. My commitment here is long-term.
But won't I be lazy if I don't do it all now?
Oh, of course not. You are already diligent for getting this far, and diligent boys remember where they left off.
Indeed. I'm always at your service.
What times are these?
These are unimportant times, Detective. You and I were born after the dust had settled. 1,000th of a second too late.
Too late for what?
For the big time.
What's the big time?
The revolution.
Ha! And what is this revolution I keep hearing about?
It's quite easy. Every 100 years or so, our species gets together to decide what's next. Who gets shot in the head, and who gets the mineral rights. It's a real kerfuffle.
Would you say it was a bunch of apes duking it out?
Why, of course. We're talking Duke Out Central. Full swing intra-species warfare.
And the apes, were they evil?
No. I would say the apes were neutral.
Okay, neutral.
On the other hand,
Who got shot in the head?
those would be the communists. Generally speaking, 40 million people got shot in the head during the World Revolution. But the communists, they all got shot in the head. Oh, and the anarchists too. They shot them well. So well, one forgets they even existed.
She likes the totality of it.
You could say they got totally shot in the head.
Indeed. They piled them in mass graves in Ozon. And, well, that's the last anyone heard of those people.
Did the communists and the anarchists shoot back?
Did they ever? Before they got shot themselves, they shot 2 million people.
Truly a kerfuffle.
Yeah, it was a kerfuffle, all right.
Yes, the Insulindian deluge, they call it.
Anyone else got shot in the head? On the opposing side?
Yes, an acute thiamine deficiency can be exacerbated by alcoholism. Exacerbated means made worse.
I selected the wrong option. Very smart.
Oh, lots of people. Even the king got shot in the head, or thrown beneath a horse, or drowned. Accounts differ. It was unceremonious. Just as well, he wasn't actually the king. Just the king's nephew. The real king abdicated and lived out a long and productive life as a venture capitalist in Grad.
Smart king.
Yes. King Guillaume had a nose for bad PR. He ran before it. What is the expression? Went down? Anyway, Gil got out alive and his nephew Frisell got shot in his place. Him and tens of thousands of his wonderfully fascist kingsmen. It was a wild time.
Who got the mineral rights?
The liberals got the mineral rights. And by mineral rights, I mean everything.
And by liberals, you mean...
Liberals are usually middle-class people, Detective. Or the remaining gentry. The beneficiaries of the pre-revolutionary arrangement. Some were rich enough to stay with the Constitution, with monarchy. Big mistake. Others bet on the revolution. They were called the ultras, or ultra-liberals. They fared well.
How did the liberals win at all?
They didn't win so much as survive. We were the last ones standing when the war ended. Everyone else got shot in the head, remember?
We. She's one of them. Of course.
If everyone got shot, who was there to surrender to?
To foreign intervention. The Coalition. Those people really took the mineral rights.
Wait, you just said the liberals already took everything.
The Liberals took everything that wasn't nailed to the ground. The Coalition took the ground. The ocean, the laws, and the people.
And who are the Coalition again?
The Coalition of Nations. Grad, Mesk, Vesper, Messina, Oranje, and Sur-le-Clay. The armed center of the world. They landed here and ended the revolution. It was the moralist thing to do.
Moralist?
The moralists believe in keeping everything exactly the way it is. They believe in mineral rights, and not shooting people in the head. At least not in the same manner and volume as the others do. They are the long-standing provisional rulers of Revachol now, the coalition government. This is their zone of control. They embolden the RCM with crumbs of the same law they took. Technically speaking, you are a moralist.
The color of moralism is blue. The official motto of Moral Intern, or Moralist International, is a blue forget-me-not, a piece of grey sky. Unofficial. For a moment, there was hope.
I don't think I am moralist, ma'am.
Of course. Not easy to be moderate about head shooting in your line of work.
Rooty tooty, pointy shooty.
Rooty tooty pointy shooty.
That's the way of history.
When was this kerfluffle?
The turn of the century revolution? Don't answer it. It's a trick question. The revolution began in '02 on the Isla of Grad, though by the end, nearly the whole world had gotten involved.
Who started it?
It wasn't a who, but a what. A pandemic of Zarat, a particularly virulent prion disease, which the authorities in Grad proved unable to contain. Then Marzolf came along and overthrew the government.
Where did it spread from there?
From Revachol and Grad? Not far. The world managed to cauterize itself. Marzolf's government was overthrown in '08, and the coalition crushed the Revachol commune 2 years later. It was the end.
What came next?
Why? You and I, officer. Our lives in the zone of control.
What's the zone of control?
A city-state divided into free market zones under the everlasting interregnum of the Coalition of Nations. And you, of course, the citizens' militia. The zone of control is the third incarnation of Revachol, after the failure of the suzerain and the commune.
What happened in the rest of the world?
Modernity. They developed the marvels of the inter-eastlery communication. Telematic milieus, radiation, colored plastics. Meanwhile, in Revachol West, the aftermath continues for the 5th decade.
51 minus 8 equals 43.
Well, you're saying it's been like this for 43 years?
Time flies.
What have we been doing all this time?
The 20s saw a decade of urban war, west of the river leveled, offshore platforms in flames. Still, it's regarded as an improvement on what came before. '08 to '19 was simply hell.
And after that?
The 30s? Things settled down in the 30s. Revachol East transformed itself into the world's largest tax haven, with the international community's blessing. For the first time in a long time, it seemed like things were going somewhere.
All that untaxed income must have fueled the new. That can only mean one thing.
That's when they discovered disco.
Yes, and quantitative easing. It was a market mirage, unfortunately. The 40s dispelled it. An Isla-wide hangover, you might say. So, here we are. Welcome to reality, baby.
Fuck yeah.
For her to be where she is, Wild Pines Group must have picked the right side.
Yeah, that's enough about the times.
They are what they are. Who knows? An afterbloom may yet come. Anyway, Enough sentimentality. Is there anything else you want to know?
That's all for now.
Glad to have been of assistance. The little that I know. Anything else?
Can I have some money?
Voila, you're doing it.
Can I have some money, ma'am?
Of course. How much do you need?
I need 130 real.
That's a good sum. Not too small, not fantastically large.
She removes a few notes and hands them to you. The paper is cold and oily to the touch. There must be about 200 real in that zip bag, maybe a little less, plus some change at the bottom.
So, I hope I didn't just bribe you, officer. It may not be technically illegal under the Emergency Act, but still.
I'm still getting my head around this whole money concept. You're just helping me out.
You're right, ma'am, that donations are permitted under the Emergency Act, unseemly as it may be, as long as they are properly logged with the precinct.
Which he most certainly will do. Now, how else can I help the RCM today, besides supplementing its salaries?
That's all for now. It's about time to, get to sleep, unfortunately.
Lonesome, long way home. Here we go. Home awaits. Walk past Station 41 and through the market, past the Boogie Street spearhead to the other side of the lake, the frozen eye at the center of the district. Then past the video rental store on the corner. There, at the end of a street lined with pine trees, a small house no larger than a matchbox. 11 Voyager Road. You no longer live there. Those times are gone. And so are those people. Why did you come here? Why are you still here? And where's the dealer? You have to get back to work. That's all you have now.
Learning cap for perception raised. Speed gives 1 psi. Well, that's, good, I think.
I missed something. Can you say it again?
Cancel that. I don't know why that turned on. Very cool. Yeah, I think I like logic. But yeah, it's time for sleepy time. Anywho, ladies and gentlemen, Disco Elysium, very nice. I know I'm not much with the commentary on this. I imagine most of this is probably going to be unedited for the most part. Like, we'll take out the bit where I had to go over everything that I had to go over again, obviously, but for the most part, I don't see a whole lot of editing happening with this. Anywho, until next time, ladies and gentlemen, later.